Hello, everyone. If you hear in the background the sound of motorcycles during this special video episode of Off Track with Carruthers and Bice, it's because we're at the Circuit of the Americas and we're at the official Dunlop Preseason Test for this 2021 season. And we're joined today by our guest, Richie Escalante, who is the defending Supersport champion in our series and actually the only rider in the whole paddock who's got a #1 on his motorcycle. So, pretty proud of having that #1, I would say.
Thank you. Yes, I'm very happy to start this season, the 2021 season. So everything very good right now.
For those of you that didn't pay attention last year, hopefully you all did. But in my opinion, there was two riders that had breakout seasons last year. Obviously, Cameron Beaubier won his 5th Superbike championship with us. But Richie's season in Supersport was amazing. I mean, there was a time when I thought he wasn't going to lose, you know?
Right.
So he was very dominant. He has a good team with him. And I thought you would I was hoping you would get a Superbike ride, but maybe one more year?
Yes, the plan when finish the season, very special season with 13 wins. I tried to jump to Superbike, and I try everything in my person, and then no happens. So the second plan is stay in the class, defend the title, and put the #1 in the bike, and then I hope for next year have the opportunity to jump to Superbike class.
When you're the champion, right? So you want to defend your championship. Is that the motivation? Or do you think I'm going to try to win every race? I mean, do you have those kind of goals?
Yes, for sure. It's difficult. Last year season very special, and it's hard to try to compare or try to improve last season. So, of course, I try to win more the 13 races. This is my motivate. And yes, I'm happy to stay in the same team. I think when you stay a couple of years in the same team, you look feeling like you on like second home, you know. So I'm happy to stay with these guys.
One more. So last year you came and you're very fit. You still look fit. Was it difficult this year? You're the champion. Did you just freaking eat donuts and drink beer or no?
No. I'm still training the same. I think I training a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know, you never know the rookies riders coming to the Junior Cup. So maybe sometimes you're surprised in the first races. And for sure, Sean is keep pushing. So I need to stay focused, to stay strong and ready for this season.
Yeah, and those of you who are watching, of course, this podcast runs after we've recorded it. So as we speak, Richie actually has one more practice session for the weekend. But so far in 7 sessions, he's been the fastest rider on track by a pretty good margin. And I mean, last year we talked about this all the time. We talk about it on social media when we show our clips. And of the 2020 season, Supersport was arguably the most exciting season we had in any of our series, including Superbike. And the back and forth between Richie and Sean Dillon Kelly and Brandon Posh, of course, it was incredible. But yet you still managed to win 13 races, and you're dominating this test right now. Do you think you're even stronger than you were last year?
I think yes. I think I understand a little bit better the bike, and I have a couple improvements in the setting to try to ride in a little bit more easy. You know, this bike is not easy to ride. It's a little bit more nervous. You have more vibration on front, so this bike is tired to ride. You know, it's not easy to stay in the same condition all race during the race. So I try to working on this to the bike more relaxed, you know, to more easy to ride.
Now you talked to us on the way in. You're still riding the 2020 from last year, but you're going to have a 2021 by Atlanta, or maybe no?
Yes.
Okay.
Right now I'm using the same bike, so the champion's bike. With the new rules, I don't have already the way, just the same bike. Just put the new tires and go. You know, this is for just free to back to recovery, to feeling again everything, and maybe in 2 weeks I try the 2021. Be ready for Atlanta.
Okay, so the 2021, it's going to have more weight on it than last year. How much more weight does it have to have on it, or does it have on it?
I think 8 pounds.
8 pounds. Okay. And you can put that weight anywhere you want, correct, on the motorcycle?
I think so, yes.
Okay. And sometimes I get too technical even for myself. Sorry about that, Richie.
Yeah.
But do you think that's going to be a disadvantage to you, or how do you feel that weight's what it's going to do to you?
I don't know. It depends where put the weight. I think maybe helps. I don't know. Right now I'm not scary about that. I'm maybe training a little bit more and not eat too much before Atlanta. I lose a little bit weight and then it's pretty similar. The same like 2020. So I'm not scary. Just the bike is the same. Maybe with a couple new setting.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the weight helps. Always when you have more weight, the bike, you have more pressure, so maybe helps to improve. Especially the bike is nervous,
Settles it down maybe.
Especially you say about it being nervous now. So I talked to Chuck Axland, our chief operating officer, who famously worked with Kenny Roberts, and they developed their own bike over the years. And he said back in the GP days, they were always trying to get the bike as light as possible, but they would get some chatter in this suspension, between the suspension and the frame. He said sometimes they would actually add weight, and the weight would help prove that you eliminate the chatter, which is what you're saying. It might actually help balance the bike a little better.
I think so. I think it helps for sure.
Okay, so
we'll see.
So then, if it helps and he goes faster, we're gonna put 40 pounds on him.
no, or the other way, make it take all the weight off of it, make it like a chattering crazy fool kind of a motorcycle. So I want to go back in a little bit. We know that you've been with us since the beginning of MotoAmerica, but your racing actually started in America during the AMA Pro Racing days, a couple years before MotoAmerica. Tell us how you got involved in American road racing.
Yes, I'm starting in Mexico first to racing in mini bikes in different championships, and after that I start first in Europe. I raced 2009, 2010, the Cuna de Campeones school. It's pretty similar like Rookies Cup, but this is from Valencia circuit, the Miralles family. So very nice school. In that moment, Franco Morbidelli raced, Jorge Navarro, different riders, the right nice racing in MotoGP. So I learning a lot, and then after that, I tried to race the Film Repsol in 1 to 5, and then no happens. So I'm training in Valencia with different persons to help me to understand this sport a little bit more and understand not only you need to fast in the bike, you need to training, mental, a couple different exercise, mini bike, supermoto, everything to you improve yourself and go. So, and then I raced Moto 2 1 year in 2012, and then it's expensive to race in Europe, so I back to Mexico again. I win the championship in Mexico, and then take the decision to why not try America to maybe better, more easy, maybe drive to there, and it's why I start. So my first race is in 2013 in Barber. In that moment, you have the same two classes, like Super Sport, and you have the Daytona Sport bike. So the year before I raced Moto 2, I say I'm ready for the sport bike. And then big, I'm surprised the level and
it's
at
faster
that
than
moment,
you think.
yes, and
His kid's Cameron Bobier,
yes,
yeah.
and more riders. It's like Gagne, Rich Poli, Pascarella, Solis, Di Salvo.
Right.
Yeah, I'm surprised a little bit. I finished behind these guys, like 40 seconds to the first, and then I say, okay, I like this country, so I try again. And then in 2014, I try 3 times, Daytona, Barber Motorsport again, and then New Jersey. But I don't race the sport bike. I race the super sport bike. Before like super stock. That year is.
Okay, so you didn't race in 2014, then you didn't race in the Daytona 200.
No.
You were in super sport that year. Okay.
Sport. So another surprise me. I never ride Daytona, so it's no easy track, fast, and I think I finished 16 my first time there.
Wow.
So I'm not so happy about that. And then in Barber, improve a little bit. I finished, I think, top 5, top 6. And then in New Jersey, feeling good. but then I have some problem in my clutch, and then lose position. I finish 7, 8. So
you're
in that year, I win the national championship in Mexico on the best class in the
Wow.
600.
What? Okay, that was a 600 equivalent to what our super sport is now, probably.
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty similar.
So your improvement has been big. Like you didn't come in winning second, third. You came in back, and you've.
Yes, I come in and my first race 16. When in the sport bike I finished 10, and then 6, 7, 8. But I have my team, my father and brother's team. You know, so nobody helped me. Just my dad prepared the bike,
Wow.
and it's more difficult. And then in 15, a little bit different. It's okay. It's time to compete completely serious and go. So
In stock 600 here, yeah?
I'm starting super stock
Yeah.
super stock class. And in that moment, everything ready, go to Atlanta. But then Chop Graves start to help me about the engines, electronic suspension. And then it's why with my back is very good mechanic and my brother speak English very well, everything together and go. And I finished second in the first race behind Joe. So say, okay, it's
better.
It's better. I have better bike, more
I
support.
can do this.
And let's go. Yeah, I finished sub-champion that year.
And does your family have a background in motorcycles?
Yes.
Oh, talk about that a little bit, about your family's history
Oh,
with it.
well, my father raced before, starting in the 90s. So raced in Mexico so many years and raced the Latin American Championship in South America. And is winner 3 times in 250 GP. So, and come to race the AMA Pro Racing too, a couple races at Daytona.
Yeah.
And yeah, my dad, of course, that loved the sport. Is in that moment very fast. I think he's one of the best riders in Mexico, and then like the mechanics too. So for me, it's easy to with my dad, because prepare my bikes, the motocross bike, the mini bikes. Always support me, going with me to training. And then my brother likes too. My brother raced 2 times on Daytona.
Yeah.
In 2006, 2007.
Oh, wow.
And raced 1 year in the film Repsol in the Kawasaki Cup 600 1 year.
Wow.
And then win a couple championships races in Mexico. So it's like more sport family always.
Yeah, a huge background in it. Your father's first name is
Pablo.
Yes, I knew
That's
that.
a good name.
Yeah,
Pablo.
so I was gonna say that's his
Yes.
name, Pablo. Does he seem like your dad? You can call him dad if you want, or
I'm
papa.
too old to be his dad. I'm grandpa.
Yes. But I think I've seen sometimes Pablo Escalante has commented on our social media when we run your stuff.
Yeah,
so.
he always
So
puts Mexican flags. I think.
yeah,
Yeah, in different parts to the TV. See.
Yeah.
Yes, always. Yeah.
You know, Richie, I've never told Paul this, and I haven't mentioned this, even though I was going to say this on the podcast. But
I'm scared.
And I always scare Paul with this. I have a nickname for you. I tell my wife what your name is. Your name is El Guapo. Do you know that? Does that mean the handsome one?
Yeah.
You're El Guapo to me. My wife says, "Stop saying that all the time." I said, "No, I love you," to my wife, but I said, "But he's El Guapo."
yeah. It's pretty, you know.
And your girlfriend
see
feels
that.
the same way, right? Does she call you that too?
Yeah,
No.
No.
Just you.
Anyway, let's return to racing talk a little bit. So I wanted to bring up, I remember this, that year, I don't know if it was when you started the year. Tell us about, you broke your leg pretty badly. Tell us about that.
Yes, when finished 2015, in that moment, Humberto Vaca raced in the super stock class.
Oh!
So my normal riding style, I like to slide in the entry, the corner.
Yeah,
So
we see.
Humberto in that moment is faster, but not too much. So sometimes I pass, and Humberto start to, I like this guy, you know, he's breaking like this, aggressive. And then I start talking with Humberto and say, hey, Richie, I love the sport. Maybe next year I have one big team. When you have teammate, what do you think? I say, okay, you support me, let's go. And then when finish 15, finish champion behind Joe Roberts, I signed with Humberto in December, I think. So it's funny, like in that moment, I going to Thunderhill track to testing, and in 2015, Joe Roberts raced with Josh Herring. So I tried the Herring bikes, Super Sport, and then I testing and in state battle in that test and say, oh, this guy is no stop, finish the season all year together, and then in December I start. And okay, I feeling good. I say, okay, I race super stuff. Let's go for the championship. And then in December I broken my leg, my tibia and peroné in the street. I have a big mistake in the scooter bike, and the plan changed a lot.
Wow. Were you devastated? Were you really sad about that? Did that really affect you?
Yes, difficult that moment to say I broken. Maybe not the same level. Maybe not ready for the season. And then I take injury in Mexico, feeling great. And after 2 months, Humberto tell me, okay, Rich, it's time to test. February in 2016, I broken first in December 15. I come to Thunderhill. That track is very nice and good to test the bikes. And I have a big mistake. You have the first corners is 2 left long corners, and then you in the front 3 you change to right. So I waited a little bit in the pits, and my team tell you need to ride 1 lap, entry, and it's time to launch. Just 1 lap to relaxing, entry, and stop 1 hour. I call the tires cold a little bit. I know 100%. I win. I need to help to put in the bike, and in the front 3 I have a big high side. I'm broken again, and I broken my knee. So
You broke your knee, and did you break your other part again?
yeah, a little bit.
Which is the tibia fibula, which is the lower part of his leg.
So big difficult moment, and then very difficult to back again. I think in the trend round in Virginia. I lose New Year in that year in 16 raced New Jersey 2 times.
Right.
So
And I think I went to that Thunderhill test, and I got there at lunch, and he'd just been taken away.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
yes.
Oh.
So difficult to recovery, and then after that, step by step, I'm improving. Right now, I'm 100%, but for sure, my left corner changed a little bit. I don't have the same power to put in the rear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So to this day, that injury has affected how you ride. Are you not able to get your knee down as much on the left versus right, or is it hanging off the bike? What can't you do the same on both sides?
Just change a little bit. I think not too much time to recovery. So I look very skinny. So I'm not recovery 100%. So I don't have the same power. That's it. So when cycling, I have more power with the right. When running, more power. I pushing more with the right. And
So in running, you just go in circle?
for me, it's better. Always pain. And then in the bike, the same. In left corner, I changed a little bit my style. Not the same before. So right now, I'm feeling good. But then I improve a lot the right corners.
Wow.
So I love the right corners. Like my favorite. So in one track just right, I prefer.
Which is strange, right? I mean, you think about flat track, it seems like for me it's more comfortable to go left. Isn't that the same way for you, Paul?
I think it's
Yeah.
But in Europe, it's not that way.
Right. Oh, okay.
It depends. Europe, most of the tracks go that way.
Well, that's
and
true.
those guys are more because they didn't grow up just going this way. you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it a strength thing? Is it like your leg strength in the left isn't quite as much as your right?
No, just
It's the same.
it's the same.
Okay.
I think you're fortunate that you have Sean Dillon Kelly to race with, don't you think? Because I think it makes you both keep making your level higher. Like if Sean would have gone somewhere else this year, then you'd be like,
for sure.
what do I do?
Just
And
with rookie riders, very young.
same for him. He might not have that.
Yeah,
that
for Sean, it's
rival
really
that-
good to both race again.
Yeah,
I
you can
think
measure
it
yourself all the time.
Yeah, for sure improve a little bit because right now the times is close to the record laps. So the level is good. Just not too much riders, just maybe 5-6 riders in very good level, and then change a little bit the level.
Right.
Now you two you get along well. I know there was times last year when it's a little bit friction because of the bike talk and all that stuff. You seem to handle that okay. Like you never like you never got angry. I mean, if maybe you were angry inside, but you never did on the surface.
No, of course it's not easy.
Right.
To last year when talking everything about the bike, not so easy. Because I like to say, oh, Richie win, Richie's fast, not Richie win
For the bike.
for the bike. So I'm not like that. So I'm happy to this more way, maybe helps a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, for me the most possible to stay the same, the level in the bikes, like the Suzuki or the Kawasaki, for me is the best,
Right.
Yeah.
It's hard because I mean, for Sean last year, he would talk about the other issue really, but he would always have respect for you as a rider.
Yes.
And your fans sometimes wouldn't quite understand that,
Yeah, the fans is attack. It's normal,
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to stay in the paddock to understand a little bit better.
Right.
And yeah, the relationship with Sean in the paddock is good. Hi, how are you? And for sure, good luck. And in the track is an attack,
Yeah.
Time to attack. And so it's funny. It's very Italian rider, very fast, and I'm happy to race with him.
You're one of these riders that you're such a nice guy, Richie. I love talking to you, but you're a fierce competitor. You get on the track and it's all about racing. Is that have you always been like that? Are you a really highly competitive individual in general? Do you just change your mindset when you're on a motorcycle?
Yeah, I think in normal life, I like to win in everything, but not like crazy, Right now, like especially this year, I'm very confident. So I have always tried to push in a lot, like this test, still pushing, and every lap me feeling like I'm in the race and always pushing, and
Right.
and I start training and my time is improved. So just I need to is a little bit more smart and relax a little bit. Because right now I'm feeling so great and so good so far, like I'm ready to go. So
It's a good feeling.
I want to relax a little bit.
Well, it sure is showing. I mean, 7 sessions these past 2 days, been fastest in every session. You got one more session to go, which is why we have to kind of let Richie go so he can get ready to get out there and make it in his 8th session and hopefully be at the top of the charts again. But thanks so much for being on with us. I mean,
Thank you.
Yeah,
It was nice having you.
Yeah, and good luck this season.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.